G'day everyone, I am Azure Blaze, and welcome back to another My Thoughts on video. As has been usual lately, it will not be scripted as such. I do want to get back into doing scripted content, however, for the moment, I am quite too busy to do that, and I've been doing sort of dot point note content instead. And yeah, and as I said, in this episode I'll be discussing my thoughts on Halo Infinite Season 5 as sort of an overall. The season itself has not ended as of such, therefore my thoughts are more early thoughts, I guess. However, this will be my thoughts for the season because I generally do it near the start as opposed to the end for the seasons of Halo Infinite. I don't know why, that's simply what I chose to do, and I like continuing with that because I guess I do. Anyway, I will probably split this video into a few sections, probably first covering the UI, the menus, the armor customization, all that sort of stuff. Then I guess I'll probably talk about the maps, maybe, and all that sort of stuff, and then probably whatever is left over there from that sort of thing. And I mean, I may as well get straight into it. I'm going to start with probably my new favorite thing this season is the new main menu screen. I really like that initial screen when you load into the game, that very whimsical looking alien like stuff I don't know, I guess, on the main screen. I really like that. I think that's really neat to look at. Moving on from that, however, the new UI, I guess, in the menus and everything like that, and the new menus overall, I feel really mixed on. Overall, I think it looks a little bit better. I think they could have gone further, to be honest. However, I think it looks a little bit better. However, some things like the challenges when in a lobby area, the challenges, to look at them, you have to go into the season and then bumper over to the challenges, which in my opinion makes it a lot more difficult to get to. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really like that. I wish they would have kept it, or at least given you a button shortcut to get straight to challenges. There may be one, I may have missed it, however, by what I've seen, at the very least, there is not. Other parts of the UI, I guess, I'm not the biggest fan on how the Spartans stand and do all that sort of stuff now in the menus either. I preferred what it was originally, where the Spartans were sort of moving around. I understand that it's nice to show you a stance and all that sort of thing. However, I remember back to what it was used to be, where they would sit around. It looks like they're sort of like a group and all that sort of thing. Yeah, I prefer that sort of thing. I like seeing them move and all the animations, everything like that. It was probably done to make the menu quicker, and for that I can completely appreciate it. However, to me, this is more very Fortnite-esque and all that sort of thing, and I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan. However, having Forbidden in the background does look nice, at the very least. I kind of wish that instead of having the stance in front of it, the Spartans were sitting on ledges on Forbidden and all that sort of thing, and I think that would have been really neat. On the thoughts of armor, I don't know how I feel about the helmets, cross-core helmets and all that sort of thing. I think it's nice to have some helmets that can mix with other armors. However, I don't know, seeing other things. I discussed this on my last video on this. I'm a pretty big fan of the core system. However, I don't mind removing it if it makes everyone else happy, because it's neither here nor there for me, to be honest. I do like it though. I guess another thing to go on with the UI and the customization and all that sort of thing is with the helmet cross-core now, when you're trying to scroll through the helmets and find one you like, the sorting abilities in the game, they're not the most deep, and it does make it hard to find some helmets sometimes. And the other biggest problem I have with it is the UI needs to be updated to be a list as opposed to the horizontal scrolling way it's doing right now, because it takes way too long to get through it. And I don't want a list of pictures, simply a list of names that you scroll through, and it updates the helmet on your Spartan next to it, like in Halo 4, Halo Reach, and all that sort of thing. Perfect. That's all that's needed, because ultimately you're going to see those helmets in those boxes and not think much of them. And then when you see them on the Spartan, that's when you're really going to figure out whether you want them there or not. Therefore, there's no point to really having the boxes if it's simply going to extend the UI and make it slower to pick all the helmets. Helmets. Yeah, I don't understand the obsession that games seem to have these days with the horizontal line thing. in my opinion, it makes it way worse and way less user-friendly. And I really wish, hopefully in the future, they will at the very least switch it to a scrolling down list where everything is compact, nice and, I guess, compactly? Anyway, compact, nice and tight, all together, however, like, easy to read and displays everything you need. That is much more nice, like, because when you go into the helmet, that's when you can, if they want to show the box, even though it's not really necessary because the Spartans there showing the helmet, if they want to show the box, they can show the box then. Yes, and all the details and all that sort of thing. Like, I don't know. Anyway, I believe that might be all for my UI talk. I'm quickly looking at my notes in front of me. Yes, okay. Anyway, let's talk about the maps. There is Prism and there is Forbidden. I shall probably talk about Forbidden first, I guess. Forbidden is very Delta Halo inspired from Halo 2, I feel. It looks a lot like that. It almost seems like it's like a cousin map to the one that we got last season. For some reason, I can't remember what it's called right now. However, yeah, it feels huge. I kind of like that. It's not necessarily that big, like you can make your way around the map fairly easily, however, it feels massive. They've sort of pulled off like this look of it that makes it look way huge, way bigger than it probably really is. And I like that. I really like that, and I really like the Delta Halo style. I've always liked that sort of style anyway. Yeah, I think it works really well. Is a little bit confusing first rounds through, however, pretty much most maps are. Prism, on the other hand, I really like that as well. I like how it's like a needler cave, basically, to like where they mine the crystals for the needlers, and how there's some crystals that you can sort of break and it'll fire the needler shots out onto other people and it'll home in because that's what they do. I like that. I think it probably might be worth shortening how long it takes to break the crystals because sometimes you can stand there for ages firing at it. Like a lot of the time a grenade is generally what you want to do with it. Yeah, it's kind of iffy. However, for the most part, yeah, I really like Prism. I like how nice it looks on Prism. I think the sort of, it's very, having gone to a crystal, I guess, park in real life and sitting in like big like geodes, like that sort of thing, with all the crystals everywhere and all that sort of thing, it feels really realistic like to that, and I really like that. I think that's really nice. That's it for the map side of things. However, I guess I'll quickly touch on the Bandit, the new Bandit Evo, I believe it's called. That's what I have written on my notes, however I may be wrong. Bandit Evo. I've already liked the Bandit. The Bandit was probably my favorite in the game, maybe already. And the Bandit Evo, in my opinion, is neat. For some context, the DMR is my favorite in Halo 4, probably in Halo Reach, and maybe not my favorite in Halo 5. There's a few other weapons in Halo 5 that I like, however. I do really like the DMR generally. The Bandit is really fun in Halo Infinite, and the Bandit Evo, adding that scope, I think it makes the reticle a little bigger as well. I might be wrong in saying that, however, I think it does. I really like it. I find it really fun to use and all that sort of thing. I really like the Bandit Evo. Kind of wish there was a different weapon added though, rather than another variant of the Bandit, which is from last season. Was the Bandit from last season or a season before? That's how long it feels like it's been. I don't know. I think it might be from last season. Yeah, I kind of wish they added like either a brand new weapon or a returning weapon. Like, yeah, it's interesting. And I guess for the last thing to touch on would probably be the Forge stuff. I'm not really a Forger anymore. I got huge into Forge during Halo 4-esque time and everything like that. I dabbled a little bit in Halo 5, and I have briefly looked into it in Infinite. However, it's gotten to the point where it's not necessarily too complicated for me to do, rather I have to sit down and learn it, and I don't really have that time, nor do I feel the drive to sit down and learn it all. Therefore, I shall let the forging be up to everyone else. However, what I did try out was playing some maps that people have put up that support some like AI interactions and everything like that, the campaign AI. And I even tried putting the campaign AI mode into another map that someone made for the Maw and all that sort of thing. It didn't really work that well. However, for the other ones where they were meant to sort of have it, I think it's really neat. I like how The campaign AI seems to translate really well over, and it's sort of smart enough to adapt to the areas in the map and all that sort of thing. Really happy with that, to be honest. That was something a little bit worried about, however, not too worried about. I think, yeah. However, for the most part, yeah, I am really happy with that. I cannot wait until people start putting more like campaign-like things up on the customs browser. That is something I'm really looking forward to. That's what I was sort of hoping to be there almost like a week after it launched, the new update. However, I guess people have to work on it, which would take time. I was kind of hoping that people would sort of add like proper custom AI to maps they already made that are based on campaign levels, like the Silent Cartographer one and the More one. However, like, you can sort of do it with the modes that incorporate AI. However, it doesn't really work as well as if it was made with the AI in like tandem or a mode that's specifically meant to go with it, I guess. For the most part though, I think, yeah, I really enjoy that thus far. And I believe that is probably all the thoughts for me. If there is anything else, I mean, there's just way more that came in the update. However, I haven't had much to do with it. I guess the, is it the Threat Seeker, which is the difference to the Threat Sensor or whatever it is? That was okay to use. I don't know. I don't really have much thoughts on that. Otherwise, yeah, no, I think that's probably all for me. There is, yeah, as I was saying, there's a lot more that's probably come out in the update. Not, if I haven't talked about it, it's because I haven't done anything with it type thing, and I probably won't, to be honest. However, yeah, I have really enjoyed Season 5 thus far, and I can't wait for the operations to come along. However, I believe that's all from me. Thank you for watching, and I shall be back in the next one. Cheers, everyone!